Ronnie.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey, Lou.
Hey, Ronnie.
Hey.
You know what you're doing? You're irritating me. You know what? You're making me dislike you.
I could be doing one of any 13 things, honestly.
That are on this list, you suppose?
Yes.
All right. 13 things then you're doing that make people dislike you immediately. Quit doing that. Next on Men Are So Smart. Everyone has got a story about how they thought a certain friend was mean the first time they met, but realized later that he or she is actually one of the nicest people they've ever met. Generally, you've only got a few seconds to make someone want to spend more time with you. Everything matters, from your last name to the smell of your sweat.
Ew.
That's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Business Insider rounded up various, there's the cat behind us. Business Insider rounded up various scientific findings on the traits and behaviors that make people dislike you, both online and in person. Let's start with Facebook, Ronnie.
Yes. So sharing too many photos on Facebook.
You know, Facebook will suspend your account for that.
It annoys me. It does annoy me. Yeah. So if you're the kind of person who shares snapshots of your honeymoon, your cousin's graduation, the dog dressed in a Halloween costume, all in the same day, you might want to stop. A 2013 study found that posting too many photos on Facebook can hurt your real life relationships.
And too many photos of your freaking dog. Stop, for God's sakes.
It's because people, other than very close friends and relatives, really don't seem to relate well to those who constantly share photos of themselves. Hello, Kardashians. Are you listening? So specifically, friends don't like it when you've got too many photos of family and relatives, because really they have nothing to do with your, your friends, and your relatives probably don't interchange in the same circle. This man from the University of Edinburgh also worked on the study and warned, be cautious when sharing and think how it will be perceived by all others who may see it. Although sharing is a great way to better relationships, it can also damage them.
Yeah. All right, I'll save my comments to the end.
Yeah.
Next on our list is having too many or too few Facebook friends. I love it when I get solicited for a friend who says, please be my friend. And it's a girl who's scantily clad. And when you go to the account, it's one picture.
4 friends.
And 4 friends.
Yeah.
And they're all guys.
Yes.
A 2008 study done by Michigan State University asked college students to look at fictional Facebook profiles and decide how much they liked the profile's owners. Results showed that the sweet spot for likability was about 300 friends.
Holy crap.
Likability ratings were lowest when a profile owner had only about 100 friends, and almost as low when they had more than 300 friends. As for why 300 plus friends could be a turnoff, individuals with too many friends may appear to be focusing too much on Facebook, friending out of desperation rather than popularity. On the other hand, the college students doing the evaluation each had about 300 Facebook friends themselves. So the researchers acknowledge that in a population where the most common number of Facebook friends is 1,000, the sweet spot for likability could be 1,000. I have 450.
Wow,
But that's different. That's different because a lot of those are radio listeners.
Right. I think I have less than 75. I think I have about 50 or 60 friends.
Don't send me a friend request, Ronnie.
What if I'm scantily clad?
And you have 4 friends?
Yes.
If one of them is mutual. All right, next up.
Disclosing something extremely personal early on in a relationship.
Oh boy, okay.
In general, people like each other more after they've traded confidences.
Okay, I understand.
Self-disclosure is one of the best ways to make friends as an adult.
Sure, show you're vulnerable.
Yeah, exactly, because everybody is. Everybody has vulnerabilities. But psychologists say that disclosing something too intimate, say that your sister is having an extramarital affair, while you're still getting to know someone, can make you seem insecure and decrease your likability. I will agree with that.
I have to agree with that as well.
Yeah, the key is to get just the right amount of personal. This study done at Illinois State University suggests simply sharing details about your hobbies and your favorite childhood memories can make you seem warmer and more likable.
Yeah.
Don't overshare,
No.
especially early on.
You know, if you got that bump on your butt, you don't need to.
Yeah.
All right. Asking someone questions without talking about yourself at all.
Ooh, that's
It's
more
kinda-
like an interrogation.
Yeah, I call it the interview.
Yes.
And I'm guilty of it, really, because I'm always interested in finding out about people. That same study we're talking about found an important caveat to the idea that self-disclosure predicts closeness. It has to be mutual. People generally like you less if you don't reciprocate when they disclose something intimate. And it's like, well, I did this and I did this. If you don't say something like, well, I remember a time when, then you're not really participating. But there's a gray area. There's a fine line there. You don't want to, make it all about yourself.
Yes.
All right. As the authors write, although shy or socially anxious people may ask questions of the others to detract attention away from themselves, research shows that this is not a good strategy for relationship initiation. Both participants in an interaction need to disclose, generate mutual closeness and liking.
Yep. This next one, I glanced at this and it's funny.
Okay.
I do know somebody who has it's posting a close-up profile photo. And it does seem a little bit odd when that is the photo that they've chosen. This says if your LinkedIn profile, or Facebook for that matter, is an image of your face, particularly smushed up against the camera, you'd be wise to change it. Research from the California Institute of Technology suggests that faces photographed from just 45 centimeters, that's about 1.5 feet roughly,
That's pretty close.
that's about there. They're considered less trustworthy, attractive, and competent than faces photographed from about 4.5 feet away.
We need to move the camera.
I think another 1 foot is about right. Yes.
Our expensive camera. Hiding your emotions. Research suggests that letting your real feelings come through is a better strategy for getting people to like you than bottling it all up. In a study done by University of Oregon, researchers videotaped people watching 2 movie scenes. The fake orgasm part of the movie When Harry Met Sally, and a sad scene from The Champ. In some cases, the actors were instructed to react naturally. In another, they were instructed to suppress their emotions. College students then watched the 4 versions of the videos. Researchers measured how much the interest the students expressed in befriending the people in the videos, as well as their assessments of their personalities of the people in the videos. Results showed that suppressors were judged less likable, as well as less extroverted and agreeable than people who emoted naturally. The researchers write, people do not pursue close relationships indiscriminately. They probably look for people who are likely to reciprocate their investments. So when perceivers detect that someone is hiding their emotions, they may interpret that as a disinterest in the things that emotional expression facilitates: closeness, social support, and interpersonal coordination.
Fascinating. Next one, acting too nice.
I don't have a problem with that.
You know what? This would be the one that I'm kind of okay with myself.
Okay.
But it makes logical sense that the nicer and more altruistic you seem, the more people will like you. But some science suggests otherwise. A study done by Washington State University had college students play a computer game with 4 other players who were really manipulators by the researchers.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how one of the study authors explained the study procedure in the Harvard Business Review. Each participant was placed in a 5-person group but did not see its other members. Each was given endowments they could in turn to choose to keep or return in whole or in part. There was some incentive to maximize one holdings, but not an obvious one.
Okay.
Then the participants were told at the end of the semester a random drawing of their names would be held, and those few who were chosen would have their holdings converted to dining services,
Ooh.
coupons redeemable at the campus.
That's kind of sneaky.
Some of the fake participants would give up lots of points and only take a few vouchers, kind of an altruistic behavior. As it turns out, most participants said they wouldn't want to work with their unselfish teammate again. Very strange. In a similar follow-up experiment in the same study, some said the unselfish teammate made them look bad. Oh, I get it now. Others suspected they had ulterior motives.
Yeah.
I see exactly where they're going.
Yeah, it can
What's
be one
his
of the other.
motivation for
Exactly.
being so nice?
Yeah. What's he trying to get from me?
Yeah,
All right.
I get it.
Have you ever heard this term, humble bragging?
I've not until this very second.
In an effort to impress friends and potential employers, some people disguise bragging as self-criticism. This behavior, otherwise known as humble bragging, could be a turnoff, according to a recent study. In the study, college students were asked to write down how they'd answer a question about their biggest weakness in a job interview. Results showed that more than 3/4 of participants humble bragged, usually about being a perfectionist or working too hard.
Yeah.
I remember
Wow.
saying that once.
I have done that.
Kind of a perfectionist. I don't
Yeah.
think that's a good thing, honestly. Yet, independent research assistants said they'd be more likely to hire the participants who were honest and found them significantly more likable. Those students said things like, I'm not always the best at staying organized, or sometimes I overreact to situations. Another alternative in a job interview situation is to talk about weaknesses that don't directly relate to the position. For example, a fear of public speaking if you're applying for a writing position.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because you wouldn't want to say, I have writer's block.
And you want to be a what?
Yeah.
A writer? Okay.
Next up, getting too nervous. Never let them see or smell you sweat. Research suggests that the odor of your nervous sweat may subconsciously or overtly influence people's judgments of your personality. Research done at Manel Chemical Census Center had participants watch videos of women in everyday situations like working in an office and taking care of a child while watching the videos. They sniffed 3 kinds of sweat. Sweat that someone had produced while exercising, sweat that produced during a stressful situation, and sweat produced during a stressful situation that had been covered up with antiperspirant. I'm not sure you can cover that up, honestly.
No, I don't think so.
Participants were then asked to rate the women on how competent, confident, and trustworthy they seemed. Results showed that the participants rated the women lower on all measures when they smelled the stress-induced sweat. When they smelled the stress sweat that had been covered up with antiperspirant, they rated the women more positively. So, hey, at least she's trying.
She stinks,
Yeah, but
but she's trying.
she gave it the college try.
All right, what about not smiling? When you're at a networking event and meeting lots of new people, it can be hard to keep a smile plastered on your face. Try anyway. In a University of Wyoming study, nearly 100 undergraduate women looked at photos of another woman in one of 4 poses: smiling in an open body position, smiling in a closed body position, not smiling in an open body position, or not smiling in a closed body position. Results showed that the woman in the photo was liked most when she was smiling, regardless of her body position. More recently, research at Stanford and University of Duisburg-Essen found that students who interacted with each other thought avatars felt more positively about the interaction when the avatar displayed a bigger smile. Bonus, another study found that smiling when you first meet someone helps ensure that they'll remember you later. I cannot remember names.
I'm not very good with names either. Next up, acting like you don't like someone. Psychologists have known for a while about a phenomenon called reciprocity of liking. When we think someone likes us, we tend to like them as well.
I think that goes for men and women, too.
I think that's kind of true, yeah. This study, in human relations, for example, participants were told that certain members of a group discussion would probably like them. These group members were chosen randomly by the experimenter. After the discussion, participants indicated the people they liked best were the ones who supposedly liked them.
Yeah, it's easier.
It is. More recently, researchers at the University of Waterloo, and the University of Manitoba found that we expect people to accept us, we act warmer toward them, thereby increasing the chances that they really will like us. So even if you're not sure how a person you're interacting with feels about you, act like you like them, and they'll probably like you back.
Yeah, I like you.
If, on the other hand, you don't express fondness for the person you're meeting, you could potentially turn them off.
Having a hard to pronounce name.
Boy,
That's not really fair because you're born with that.
I'm living that dream.
But here's the science 2012 study by the University of New York found that people with more complicated last names are judged more negatively. In one experiment included in the study, undergraduate participants read a mock newspaper article about a man running for an upcoming local council election. Some participants read about a man with a relatively easy to pronounce last name. Others read about a man with a harder to pronounce name. As it turns out, participants who read about the man with the simpler name said that candidate was a better fit for the government position than participants who'd read about the man with the more complicated name. That's why Gallagher is my name on the radio.
Yeah.
And not my real name.
And that's why I go by Corvette Ronnie.
Yeah. Yep.
Yes. Oh, and this last one,
Okay.
I hate this. I hate this more than anything. Name dropping.
Guilty sometimes.
Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. It can be tempting to mention that famous author who graduated from your alma mater in order to impress your conversation partner. But the tactic can backfire.
Yeah, me and Einstein went out for beers once.
Yeah.
We did.
Almost always backfires with me. That's according to researchers at the study of Zurich. In 2009, they published a paper suggesting that name dropping makes people seem both less likable and less competent.
Desperate, if you ask me.
A little bit. Now, I have a story to tell you from last night.
All right.
I will tell you also.
Okay.
For this study in particular, University of Zurich students interacted with partners via email. The emails had already been generated by the researchers. In some emails, the partner mentioned that Roger Federer was his
player.
Yeah, the tennis player.
Yeah.
Was his friend, and they'd worked out together. In other emails, the partner only mentioned that Federer was a friend. In another set of emails, the partner mentioned that he or she was a fan of Federer. And in some emails, the partner didn't mention Federer at all.
Okay.
Results showed that the stronger the supposed association between the partner and Federer, the less participants liked their partner. I think that's pretty telling. Researchers found that this was largely because participants felt their partners were manipulative.
So your story.
So last night, I was at this fundraiser, sports fundraiser for a high school I'm very familiar with. And I'm talking with a man, and we had a very close connection. Our kids went to the same K through 8 school. Our boys went to the same high school. And then he told me that he is Steve Sachs, the ex-Dodger second baseman, that's his cousin. So I told him, I'm a Giants fan. I'm not a fan of anybody on the Dodgers. So made it clear pretty right off that doesn't impress me at all.
Yeah.
My wife, on the other hand, she loves Steve Sachs. And in fact, she asked me to ask him about Steve's younger brother, Dave Sachs.
Oh, yeah, Dave, yeah.
Yes. And so, well, unfortunately, the man had left, and so I never got a chance to, breach that subject. But name dropping can be a little bit, it can have a negative effect as well.
Well, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I was just having this conversation with Stormy Daniels. And she tells me, well, I won't go into that because when Donald Trump and I were hanging out in New York a lot.
Did you sign a non-disclosure with Donald, by the way?
I can't talk about that.
Okay, so
I can't. Yeah. So actually, when I think about it, Jennifer Aniston and I. Yeah, I know a guy like this.
Yeah.
I know a guy like this. I used to work with him. He cannot even complete a sentence in a Facebook paragraph without mentioning how he is so cool.
Yeah.
And still, although he is, what's the word I'm looking for? A non-issue.
He's not relevant.
He's not relevant. He still drops all these names from people 35 years ago.
I think we might be thinking about the same guy.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
All right. So it makes people like you less when you name drop. So
Yeah.
try not to do it unless it's just germane to the topic.
Right.
Okay. All right. That wraps it up. Things that you can do that make people instantly dislike you. Hope we've done none of those today. Seriously, I know. I was just kidding.
And tune in next week when we'll have Jennifer Aniston here.
Yeah, Jen and I are probably going out to Sizzler tonight.
We go way back.
We're going to Sizzler.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
She's a big fan of Sizzler, I
I'm gonna
heard.
spoil her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Read my blog about that, by the way. Jennifer Aniston and I. My new name you can refer to me in the future as Lou Gallagher Aniston. I'm taking her last name. She doesn't know it yet.
Yeah.
But I've already done the paperwork.
Yeah.
All right, Ronnie, we got to get out of here.
Yeah. For it.
All the information that you would like to get about us, you'll find below.
Our sponsors.
In fact, you see them all around.
Yeah.
And we couldn't do the show without them, so thank you very much.
Oh,
we
boy.
appreciate that.
Big fans.
Also, like the episode, give it a thumbs up if you had a good time. And also, while you're there, go ahead and click that red subscribe button. It would be very, very important to us.
Muy importante.
We would be very thankful.
Yeah.
Attention! No. I'm Luke Gallagher.
I'm Corvette Ronnie.
Attention, people of Earth! This has been Men Are So Smart. We'll see you on the next episode.
Beep, 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 beep. Signing out. Beep, 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 beep.
E.T. phone home!
Hey, boo boo. Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my head.
Nothing up my sleeve.
Nothing up my sleeve.
Presto.
Presto.
All right.
Okay.